Hi, this is Max at Joker's Comedy Club with this week's big headliner, Jubal Fresh.
What's up? How are you?
Good, good. We're looking forward to the show.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. I see a few things. You were here a few years ago, and it went great.
Dude, it was right before lockdown, pretty much.
Yeah, that was one of the better shows we've had for some time, if I remember.
It was.
Um,
I was joking around about
yeah,
COVID and how a lot of people thought, because it was like right when everything started coming out, and how about like a lot of people thought the coronavirus was coming from Corona beer in the country, and I had made that joke, and then it was like the next week or two, and then everything locked down.
I saw that. I was on. I was doing on YouTube on your channel, and that was one of the higher rated bits that came up.
Yeah,
That you at
yeah.
Joker's Comedy Club and doing that Corona bit and stuff. That you're a Saturday Night Live fan. So I mean, who's how would you compare? I guess eras. Is this how is this era? Is this about average, or is this a better Saturday Night Live era? Are they kind of on a comeback, or what do you see?
I think it's been in kind of a lull for a long time, longer than it ever has been. Like I grew up when I was growing up, I watched very few like cartoons and stuff like that. I watched stuff that probably no kid my age should be watching, but mostly sketch comedy and stuff like that. So I was a huge Saturday Night Live fan. Any sketch show I watched it, and all I wanted to do was comedy growing up, and so I was a big fan of it. I mean, the stuff in the '70s, which is even before I was born, I thought was amazing, and then a little bit of a downtime in the '80s, and then mid '90s pretty good. But I think like the last few years, I would say not it's not below where it has been before, but it's just kind of like a steady barely above that for a
Barely,
while.
barely passable. They got to keep it going. They got a long record there.
Yeah.
I'm a Kate McKinnon fan. I didn't know much. I haven't followed it all that time, but she's one of my favorites.
It's interesting with like social media has done with comedy. Really, you find out that people like they need to like you have to hit them with whatever your video or whatever it is like within like 3 seconds, or they don't care. So I think that the writing is a little too long on SNL still.
Oh yeah, attention spans might be getting shorter.
Yeah, they're getting shorter. It's weird because I pay attention to a lot of research on stuff like this because of radio and just like trying to figure stuff out. But it's it's shorter. But if you get them right away, then they give you longer. So if they're waiting, and then you get somebody to laugh, or they're kind of interested in it, they'll be easier to leave. But if you right away, then they'll be quicker. If you like have a couple bad jokes, they'll be like, okay, I'll wait because one good is coming up and they'll be longer. So it's a weird thing.
Have you ever Have you ever auditioned for SNL or had any interest?
No, I always wanted to, but I never did. I don't know. I've like I've severely underachieved a lot of the earlier part of my life, so I never really chased that dream as much. But I got into radio. I started doing comedy and radio at the same time, so I got into that, and then I just that's worked really well, and it's given me like a voice to do stuff. So
I'm a little behind on that too. Are you on the radio show right now?
yeah. So we're on Kiss Kiss out there. In the Tri-Cities, yeah. So I was on another show before they fired me, and then I started up a new show, the Jubal Show, and I think Richland, the Tri-Cities area is like one of our first affiliates. So it's dope. It's fun to come back. Like I love coming to Jokers and coming out there. Like the crowds last time were awesome.
Yeah. How do you deal with that when you're a kid? That's an unusual name.
Yeah, it is. It's in the Bible somewhere at the beginning part, and it means in the Bible is the father of the harp and the lyre, or I guess the lyre is like a flute. So that's what it translates to in the Bible. But I think having the name Jubal in elementary school, it translates to kick my ass, take my lunch money. It was actually, I'm really thankful that I had a name like Jubal. Well, I grew up in a lot of different areas. Like I grew up in a lot of areas where I was more predominantly white. So it was really interesting for me growing up with the name Jubal too, because like I would like I'm a white guy, right? With like a black name, kind of looks Hispanic. So nobody ever knew what I was. That was but I would start at a new school or something, and like people try to teach me about my name, and then at a certain point, I would just come up with better insults on my own name because I moved schools a lot. I moved around a lot. I think I went to like 10 different schools or something growing up because my parents moved, and
It's hard.
got to the point where I was like the new kid all the time, and I was a new kid with a weird name where nobody knew what I was. And then they would always, gerbil was the first thing I would go to. And then, and I remember when it changed, like someone said gerbil, and then I was like, oh, what about this? I would just rattle off a bunch of insults and just take their ammo away. And then, but it was like definitely, but it helped me though. It helped me like learn to be funny and quick on my feet, I think. Yeah.
Good. So folks, don't want to miss Jubal Fresh this weekend. There's 2 shows on Friday, 5:30 and 7:30. And then a Saturday at 7:30.
Yes.
So we'll see you then, Jubal.
Yeah, man. Thank you.